So I decided to do should teachers be armed in classrooms? I picked this one because I felt like it was more of the one, it's a hot topic now. So I feel like it was relevant and it was a lot easier to find a lot of information on it. My opinion on the matter is I don't think so. I mean, I just think it adds more chances of people getting hurt. And actually, the essay has, I mean, a lot of the information in here has backed up my opinion on it. And where I live at in Texas, a lot of schools actually, a lot of the high schools actually already have teachers carrying weapons. They even have signs out there saying our staff is armed and enter at your own risk. So, I mean, you just don't know, I guess. But in my opinion, I don't think it's the best. But since the Parkland school shooting in 2018, which claimed the lives of 17 young victims, there has been an increased call to arm students and teachers on campuses. The support for concealed carry comes from gun right lobbyists like the NRA, National Rifle Association, Department of Education Secretary Betsy DeVos, and even the president. In recent years, the court of public opinion finds some way to shoehorn into the debate for increased security and concealed carry opportunities at schools. Last year alone, there were 45 people wounded and 112 people killed in mass shooting events, 29A 2019. With increased incidents taking place all over the country, research experts are doubtful more guns would prevent a mass shooting. In fact, in states like Texas, that have adopted campus concealed carry measures have experienced increased gun-related accidents in the classroom. According to the National Conference of State Legislators, 2019, there have been 19 states that have introduced some form of campus safety legislation. Nearly every year, the federal government and states have diverted funds from new security measures such as school resource officers, SROs, metal detectors, and surveillance equipment, Philip B. Jeffrey, A. and Sugard, S. and D. Installing new cameras and having an armed officer ready on campus can provide some measure of campus safety, but often it results in more hardened schools. Zero tolerance and visible security measures are two strategies that have been school boards' answers not only to shootings but also to violence and bad behavior. Additionally, these measures have been shown to have the opposite effect and have yielded no proof that it prevents a tragedy. Unsurprisingly, these policies often disproportionately affect students of color and lower income students. Columbine High School, Sandy Hook Elementary, and Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School, some of the most deadly school shootings in history, are all followed by the same actions: money. After Columbine, President Bill Clinton set aside $60 million for visible security measures. At Sandy Hook, the state legislature approved $42 million along with new safety legislation. Our leaders at the highest level seem to think that the value only lies in armed security officers, metal detectors, and bulletproof glass. Furthermore, teachers would need to be properly trained and provided with gun licenses, which could cost Americans more than $250 million. Hinton M. 2018. In states that have passed gun legislation to allow for concealed carry onto college campuses, there have been significant drawbacks like lawsuits, student and administrative protests, and injuries. For example, a Texas professor at the University of Texas sued the school for its adoption of concealed carry policies, 29A 2019. Additionally, interested applicants and even tenured professors withdrew their applications from consideration. In situations of accidental discharge, there have been numerous instances where a gun has gone off in a classroom. Specifically, in the case of an Idaho professor who was legally allowed an enhanced carry permit. During class one day where he had the weapon tucked into his pocket, the gun accidentally discharged and shot himself in the foot. Alarmingly, proponents of lax gun laws continue to argue accidents happen, and that one isolated incident doesn't mean the law is ineffective. However, logic will dictate that if professors and students are suffering from accidental gun injuries on campus, the clear solution would be to remove said guns from campus. Since state legislators have imposed these new gun laws on schools, there has been persistent opposition. Campus administrators have largely rejected the idea of a concealed carry option. Additionally, in 2008 survey of a campus university policies department found that around 89% agree that the most important way to deal with gun use on campus is to prevent the use of guns at all. 29A 2019. This is particularly interesting because even campus police departments realize that arming more people does not translate in safer communities. It's worth mentioning that when the FBI conducted a study on 250 active shooting events, out of those 250 events, only 7 cases show that a good guy with a gun stopped a shooter. Not only do schools have to worry about injuries from the accidental discharge of a weapon, but they also have to spend more money to beef up security and insurance. In Kansas, 3 universities have determined it will cost them well over $2 million to secure their facilities. Similarly, Idaho colleges are forced to comply with enhanced gun permits on campus. Schools estimate it will cost them nearly $4 million in the first year of implementation alone, 29A 2019. While the cost of compliance is steep, the cost of preventing students from carrying is far greater. Now that these laws have been implemented, universities that do not want students or teachers to carry will have to find new security measures to ensure campus safety. Knowing all of this, there is a way to better prep schools to prevent acts of violence like a mass shooting. One idea is to simply invest in better research that focuses specifically on school violence, effective responses, and where administrators can step up. Additionally, districts should look towards known effective strategies like mental health counselors on campus. In nearly all school shootings, the shooter is found to have suffered from some type of mental illness, and their violent tendencies were ignored by schools and family. Risky gun laws, while well-intended in some instances, do nothing to protect teachers and students in school. Federal and state legislators must work in tandem with school boards to provide sufficient support and funding to target the epidemic. Passing more lax gun laws and over-policing schools will increase student anxiety in the classroom and will harm the students in the long run. Yes.